Ladies and gentlemen, here we are. It's a Friday, and we are one day away from the event here in Clearfield County, Pennsylvania. It promises to be a brutal one with all the bullshit going on in the school boards, raising taxes, crushing everybody across the country. My hometown school district's in the crosshairs, and that's going to be the event this weekend. I'm sure we're going to stumble into that subject because my two counterparts here, as you know very well, the Three Amigos Roundtable, our fan favorite. We've got a lot to talk about, catch up with Nino and Mike on exactly what's happening out there in the battlefield. It's emerging fast. A lot of stuff's going to be happening in the next 4 months. So, guys, we got Nino Rodriguez, former heavyweight boxer, Mike Jaco, 24-year Navy SEAL, 10-year CIA operator, new battlefield, different mission, going after the people that used to command him to do the things that he did, because we found out they're all criminals. Anyways, guys, good to have you here today. I'll hand it off to you guys. What's the big story? What's the big news of the day in this battle? And what do the next 4 months look like from what you guys are hearing?
You want to go for it, Mike?
Yeah, I mean, there's so many different things. President Trump's plane, had to switch planes, Air Force One. Uh, it looks like maybe the one he got from Qatar is compromised now. I don't think it was built in Qatar. I think it was built in the Boeing, aircraft manufacturing plant. There's been some suspect stuff that's been going on there. People talking about how people are coming in all drugged up, even though go through, testing and they're qualified to be able to come in there. They're gonna have to tighten everything up because it sounds like this plane's been compromised somehow. And you would think they were going through that thing with a good a good comb, and just like microscope the whole thing, and it's like and they probably did. But the building process, you're going to have to make sure going forward, especially something like this, that you're in control of the whole thing. I remember many years ago, many decades ago, in Moscow when the Soviet Union, the communists were running the show there. We built a new embassy, and dumbasses, allowed the local Russians to come in and build it. Of course, it was bugged like crazy. It had to like tear the whole thing down, bring in materials from the United States and builders from the United States to build one. But this is some of the things that we should know by now, right? So this being compromised like this is highly suspect. I think it's after the fact, right? So we know that President Trump is he's targeted. The deep state is on the ropes. Now, a lot of people have said that the deep state it's a done deal. It's not a done deal, guys. They're going to keep playing this game until they're completely gone, and that's going to take a long time, right, to dig these guys out of the woodwork. So just like for example, President Trump's plane, uh, maybe it was perfectly cleared and then it was bugged later on with something. We don't know exactly what happened, and they're probably not going to let us know because once you tell tell the enemy that you're onto them and how you discovered them, then they're going to figure out a way to like work around that and do something different. So that's why you're not going to hear stuff on this, guys. It's the way this works. Tyler Robinson, I mean, we could go off on a lot of different things. That guy is a patsy, if I've ever seen a patsy. And was Charlie Kirk shot? I still don't believe so. I know there's very, skilled people. I know you just had John Carmine on. I was watching that show just before this. I totally respect him. If we were in a room together, we could probably come to some conclusions. This is the way, like we're doing this roundtable, we kick stuff around and we come up with some really good insight. So, there we're having a lot of this stuff. If I was there, I would tell you how, if I was in charge of Charlie Kirk's detail, which it looks like there was a lot of guys like me in his detail, former military, probably very high up. They all moved with a purpose and they started tearing everything down. They moved him out. Uh, if I was there and he had really been shot, I would have saved his life because I know how to save lives, and I know those guys are skilled in that area. So if I knew that he was going to be shot, we're going to make a scene like he's been shot because we know somebody's going to shoot him. So I would have said, okay, guys, this is where we're going to work this. We're gonna make it look like this because I looked at this one woman at the fraud event. This woman came up to me and said, I totally agree with you. I was there. I was taking video. She showed me the video. She said his chest puffed up. like it was like, and then boom, I think it was, staged. But if there was an exit wound, which I haven't seen, and I don't know. So I'm open-minded about it, but from my perspective, I'm looking at it and I'm saying this is a whole staged event. And it's probably because they knew he was going to be assassinated, so they staged it. Uh, that's my thoughts on that.
Well,
I'm
I,
with you.
I'll, I'll go with I absolutely believe he's dead, and I think that was a vicious killing, but that's just me. But I'm going to go into this first. Trump terminates all members of Election Assistance Commission ahead of midterms, so he's already making moves, guys.
Right.
Here it comes. President Donald Trump on Thursday night reportedly terminated the members of the Election Assistance Commission, which is an independent commission that assists election administration officials nationwide. All three of the remaining commissioners were removed in some way, according to Reuters, with two Democratic commissioners, Thomas Hicks and Benjamin Hovland, notified by email. The Republican commissioner, Christian McCormick, was allowed to resign. So he's already starting to make moves. I heard that Monday could be a big day. I don't know what's going to happen. Juan's chief of staff hit me up and told me that Monday could be. He said look out for Monday, and I haven't gotten back to him to find out what yet, but we'll see. But I think this is it, man. There's no other time like now, with where we're at the next 5 months. I mean, and I know we say this every election, but this really is the hill to die on. There's nothing this is it. I mean, if the Democrats don't get what they want for midterms, which it looks like they're not, what's their next choice? It's chaos, man. It's some kind of red nuke button, man. They're going to have to hit the button because if Trump goes forward, the SAVE Act is not going to pass. I think we all know that. I think we all can agree on that. But Trump's going to make it look like, hey, I'm really pushing for this to pass. Even if it did pass, it'd be fought in courts and it wouldn't come in on time for the midterms. So what does that mean? It means Trump most likely is going to sign this national security or declare a national security emergency, which will then lead to executive orders, which will then send the Democrats off the rails. And what does that mean? Well, they're going to have to resort to another means or other methods of getting the job done. Now, what that means, or you all can use your imagination, I think it's going to be severe, man. I think it's going to be, I think there will be pockets of civil unrest. I don't think they won't achieve what they've always wanted, which is a civil war. But I think, when this starts to the trajectory starts to, Trump starts to set his sights on Obama more so than ever, and the arrests come. I think that's when this shit really kicks off, man. And I think midterms to me is it. It has to be it. I'm just speaking out. I'm thinking out loud. My audience knows it's logical. You all know this. It has to be the midterms. There's no friggin' way either side's going to give an inch. They're going to do whatever it takes to just not just win this, but it's probably going to be delayed, postponed, whatever, military. Who knows how this plays out? But I think the next 5 months, man, it's just going to keep getting ratcheted up, higher stakes, maybe more assassination attempts on Trump. You talked about his plane. Yeah. I mean, anything's a possibility. Dude, I would have food tasters. What about poisoning the water at Mar-a-Lago? I mean, these people, there's 10 ways to Sunday to get this guy. And who knows? I mean, he even said himself, I may go away for a while or I may be gone soon, hinting that he's very realistic with what could happen to him.
Sure.
So there I am with that. That's what I have to say right now.
I can't, it still doesn't escape me, and I don't have any hard evidence or proof, but it still doesn't escape me that it's still plausible. They're still controlling all this and playing it out. And I agree, there's always still moves the other side can make. It's like that. We talked about this before, the Queen's Gambit, that film that, when you lost, on a chessboard, you drop your queen over and you tap out with respect because you can see there's no way, no matter whatever move you make, you're going to lose. And it's disrespectful to keep on pushing if you're a real professional. For this battle, to me, it's kind of like that there's a Queen's Gambit that's obvious, but the other side is still going to fight to the death. My belief is and I agree with you too. I think there's no way the election is going to happen, in my opinion. We have to get to close enough to where it becomes a bit of a fever pitch because we still know we have elections that aren't secure. I think it's continuing to just let the energy build among the population, because if we don't have the support, if the military doesn't have the support for all the stuff that they need to do from the people, it breaks out into chaos. I mean, we look at 2019, 2020 with Antifa BLM. So I believe the same thing. I believe they're riding this thing to get the people to where the people need to be. That's my opinion. And I do know this over the last number of years, traveling and talking to all these people. You mentioned how bad school taxes are in El Paso. Mike, you brought that up. This school tax or even the school bond fraud, catastrophe heading our way. My belief is no matter what happens at the top, military, Trump, the global realignment, if we, the people, do not stand up and start acting like free Americans, restoring a republic and taking our counties back from this corruption, this kind it mirrors exactly what Alexis de Tocqueville said when he wrote Democracy in America 150 years ago, traveled a country from France to find out what made America what it is so great. And his summary was this: it's just like he said, look, America's great because her people are great, and when her people cease to be great, she won't remain that way. That's where we are today, because there's no greatness, in my opinion, to the degree we had when the country was founded. Too many people are sitting back, allowing these school board meetings to happen with nobody there, cranking up tax rates. These clowns, they've never run candy stores, let alone a multi-million-dollar budget, tens of millions, and they're in there voting for shit to get built and money to be spent. And case in point, district here, 1/3 less people in school than when I was here, like triple the budget. This is insanity.
Oh, El
When
Paso's
you're
worse, bro.
losing students left and right, you can't keep building shit, and you can't keep keep raising taxes. I say this, and I took this fight on because I listened to my dad for 50 years. Looks like I froze again. My dad for 50 years. I've listened to my dad bitch constantly for decades. More school tax increase, more school. I wasn't paying him, so it wasn't a big deal to me. But now you see this stuff. These people will never stop until they're stopped. Plain and simple. The battlefield, in my opinion, is local if we're going to get this country back, because there's the culture of corruption came from the top, Clinton era, Bush and Clinton, clear to the bottom. And it's everywhere. It's this little town that I grew up in. What I'm learning from the people that I'm talking to here, whistleblowers, school board whistleblowers, and other people, the corruption here is staggering to me. I'm like, this quaint little beautiful, middle American town. Now we even have it at this level. Anyways, I'm not going to do any name call. I'm going to keep the gasket from rupturing because I got to do the event tomorrow. I want to save it for tomorrow, but that's where in my opinion, that's America has got to recover herself. There's no amount of military that could make this thing get back to where it once was. There has to be a culture shift. And I think Trump and the machine are driving this to make it so front and center in this country, in people's minds, like, holy shit, this is that bad. We can't possibly survive this. And there's some type of big thing that happens that changes this right here, a mental change. So we say, you know what? We're never allowing this to happen again. And then what do we behave differently? We start holding people accountable.
Yeah.
Yeah, you think those taxes, El Paso's the worst. El Paso's disgusting, man. Like you got to hire someone to fight your property taxes every year. It's terrible. And so what we're dealing with that here, it's a Democrat-run town. It's completely corrupt. Every politician is crooked. The cartels run everything. It's a disaster here, and I can't wait till this gets cleaned out, because I know it's going to. I know it's going to be top to the bottom, man. I know that's why I'm telling you, these midterms are going to decide everything, and I'm not. There's no way in hell I'm even thinking this is going to a vote, going to an election. I'm wondering, will the Democrats, once Trump makes the move, what are the Democrats going to do? And that's going to decide everything from there on forward, man. So, I don't know what magnitude of maybe terror events, of what they could possibly do, but I know that the USAID defunded them. I know the ICE raids, we went in and took down a lot of terrorist cells, but that doesn't mean we got them all. and I'm sure there's still a lot that will be activated. I'll never forget when I did that article on Mobile, Alabama, the lake there. There was a dam that had an IED there, and it's like, what the hell is an IED doing at a dam? Well, to take down the infrastructure, right? Imagine if they're at all the dams, and it's a coordinated effort. I mean, I don't know at what level how coordinated this stuff is from their side, but I'm sure they're very equipped and ready for some kind of disaster, a response to Trump, and they're probably not going to pull the trigger prematurely. They're going to do it coordinated at a time when we, least expect it, or approaching right into midterms. I would imagine that things are going to keep escalating, but I would say that probably, if I had to guess, late October, man. You know, late October going into November, and probably after. That's when I would. That's when we're going to see where this really is at. Now, I don't know what magnitude. Like I said, I can't predict that, but we're going to see exactly how hot this really is, what the temperature really is, and I think, and how much of the threats Trump neutralized.
It all leads back to elections too, because if like they have been asserting people that allow this fraud and this craziness to happen, we can't get resolution on it until we remove those people that are allowing it and building with judicial walls around their corruption that we can't even enter constitutionally as citizens to, get recompense from their criminal activity against us, like we're talking about the fraud and the school bonds and so forth. And even in Minnesota, I was just reading this morning where Secretary Marco Rubio, they ousted some Laotian that had here illegally raped a 10-year-old girl, and they went in and prosecuted him. Governor Tim Walz pardoned him, and then they went in and said, okay, he's no longer legal status, and so they deported him. He should have been executed from the get-go. So none of this bullshit happens because these criminals that are allowing this stuff to happen that are destroying America are going to continue to do that, like a Tim Walz. So I know there's a lot of people in Minnesota is like, we didn't vote for him. Yeah, you didn't vote for him because they inserted him, just like they did Newsom and all these other criminals that are in treasonous criminals that are in these, Colorado. You name the state almost these days. There's criminals there that are criminal cartels, and it's insane. So we have to get resolution now. I think there may be, because I've heard from some people that are close to Trump. Uh, that they may pass the Save America Act at the last minute. That way, it doesn't give them, like we're all talking about, the ability to play their games. Because
Yeah, but they'll still hold it up in court, and it won't meet the fruition by the time we come to midterms. It'll be held up.
We know it doesn't matter what we pass. The Democrats are still going to cheat in their states, just like we saw in the last election. Everywhere there was, a Democrat state, they allowed people to come in and vote without a ID.
But since they've been taking the federal funding, they're going to have to cooperate with whatever Trump signs, and that's where it's going to get tricky.
Look at Colorado. No, they don't have to. They don't have to. They'll continue to thumb their nose.
No doubt about it. They're going to be defiant.
Yeah.
But this is when the country's going to go. This is what we're talking about. This is when shit goes into disarray.
Yeah. Well, election fraud, if it gets, revealed, which I think it can, we've talked about this for a while. Both of us have had Maria Zack on. She says there's threats of they'll use nukes if they, disclose. Will it be an open nuke or will it be a nuke on a fault line? Like we've seen, I think they used the fault line nuke in Japan when Fallujah was not Fallujah. Fukushima, thank you, was destroyed. So, there's lots of different ways, like we're talking about, these psychopaths can try and ruin us. So we're another one of these things, that gets out there and is even worse than the one prior that we had to deal with 6 years ago, and took all of us down with you, Nino. So you've been able to survive. You're one of the survivors. I've come back, and Scott, I put shows up that I've done with you, and they come and taking them down
Jeez.
because it's your name. These criminals are still onto us, guys, and we've all had problems with our shows, all of us.
Oh yeah. I
Yeah,
mean, no doubt about it. I mean, it's still alive and well, man.
yeah,
This is not going away. It's an ideology that's immersed itself and puts its tentacles into the American psychology and society for decades now. And I mean, the people you got to really worry about, man. I mean, I know like MS-13, the cartels, the Hamas, Hezbollah, those. I'm sure a lot of those organizers and terrorist cells have been taken down. That's what the ICE raids were for initially, the big sweep. But dude, you got to worry about your crazy neighbor,
yeah.
like the purple-haired fucking liberal lady next door that's gonna just lose her fucking mind. She's not gonna be able to take this shit. I mean, no, really. I mean, think about the crazy people you see on a day-to-day basis that are going to be ready to snap.
Oh yeah.
Just when they find out they're not gonna the midterms maybe are delayed. Like this is gonna set off a lot of triggered people.
Yeah.
Just that's a wild card we have to all think about. Like they're gonna feel like this is being taken from them, and they will fight to the death. They're gonna look at us like bigots and Nazis because they bought into the MSN media. That's what I'm worried about, dude. I'm not worried about the. I think the gangs and the cartels and the Hamas and all. I think most of them have been neutralized. But dude, the wild card, your neighbor, your crazy cat piss smelling neighbor that's fucking, you know, drinking wine by herself, just going through crazy shit in her head all day long. That's gonna
By
lose it
herself,
by
because they're
herself.
not
Yeah,
reproducing. That's
no,
why the birth rate is down, because the wokesters aren't reproducing. Those of us that are conservative, we got babies and we're still
yeah.
got babies, but
they all had,
we can't wait
they all
this out. We can't wait for them to like cancel themselves out.
But dude, they're gonna go. Nut. You realize that they're gonna like they're gonna lose their shit.
even if
Oh
they
yeah,
do,
they're
Nino, I
already
mean, you
crazy. Yeah.
look at some of these. I mean, look, what are they going to do, right? All these leftists. Okay, I'm going to grab a gun and shoot you. I mean, they'll grab a gun. They'll probably shoot themselves, or if they
They
come
probably
out
won't even know how
fighting,
to
they'll be
load
like
it.
this. They'll come out to try to fight you like this, right? What kind of violence are they going to bring? It'll be a complete mow down. I mean, it's absurd. You ever see that one Antifa riot where the big dude's out there, and here comes kid with a ball bat, and he just turns like this, and here it comes right at him. He just puts his hands up, grabs the ball bat,
Oh
wham, and just
yeah,
backs his
yeah.
dude. Guy just topples like a building. That's what happens. My buddy out in Colorado, his name is Kelly. We've said this shit for decades. I wish that shit would. Why doesn't that shit ever happen to me? Because we think about how can people stand around and let this happen? We would just be breaking bones and tossing them aside, grabbing the breaking bones and tossing them aside. Nobody seems to. You realize what happens if the powder keg in Middle America goes off, like patriotic America? It ends overnight. That's what we're trying to get people to stand up, not to do this, but to get to in front of the political bodies. But if the people would just stand, we outnumber even the lunatics. We outnumber them so badly, it would be a complete mow down. And that's the thing. None of these people who behave this way, they've never been in a fight, right? They've never shot a gun. They've never dodged a bullet. And you know how it is, a bully, first time he's cracked, wham! And then he's off balance. The dude beats the shit out of him. It was like, oh my God, I thought the bully was untouchable. No, his brain has never experienced wham, like holy shit. And it freezes, it doesn't know how to process it. Then they get their ass kicked. That's what they've never had, a real wake-up call. And again, for the MTP liberals, I'm not talking about we need to punch people in the face, that even if they deserve it, which they do. But once there's a move against somebody, that they're not like a criminal. Like if somebody starts to fight back, that's what we say with a woman. If they're going to ever abduct you and take you, even if you're going to be getting beaten, punched, fight to the death, grab everything you can. Don't let them get you into a car. Why do you do that? Because it's too much trouble. Their brains have always physically overpowered people. Everybody cowers, and it's easy pickings. But when somebody goes like lunatic and like screaming, scratching their eyes, after a minute, they're like, holy shit, I'm getting out of here. They've never experienced their brains in shock, and they don't know what to do, like, and they bail out. That's what happens on the other side if that powder keg goes. And one last thing I'll say, Nino, you kind of alluded to this point, and it's important that people understand this. Exactly what he said. Everybody keeps bitching that it's taken too long. You have zero idea what they're protecting us from. Q Operations said we will not make a single move until we can guarantee the safety of the American people. You don't understand. It is still that battle, and they have their like their bombs, like metaphorical, they can detonate on each other. That's catastrophic for everybody. They don't want to do that. They're playing this out, but there's still that threat. The other side loves death. They love the energy of misery and all that. So they don't care. They'll do it on the way out the door if they're going to die. We want life. We won't do that, for, on us or anybody else. That's why this thing's taken so long, and it's going to take a lot longer as long as people sit back in their own communities and take the same shit from the local politicians until they stand up and say, we are effing done with this bullshit and show up. Then we're going to continue on this path until it gets to the scare tactic or till, like Juan said, a near death experience of this country before people wake up and say, holy shit, what happened? How we going to lose our
I, I
country?
I can definitely see the movement, though. I don't know if you guys can. It's picking up speed. Like people are definitely getting involved now, more so than ever. I think.
Yeah. Hey, Mike should, Travis and Mitch Vexler. There's a show. I'll send you guys the link. It's 30 minutes. They're talking about this school board thing. How they got these school boards around the country, especially Travis. He's got them on the run. I, I mean, there's people in jail, cops, city officials, all this from what he's doing.
Yeah.
Uh, Open records requests. Send them in, and you can get AI to write these. They're better than an attorney, and their attorneys are like, "Holy shit, we're in trouble." They're flooding with these things, and they're running scared because why? If they do not comply with like a 10-day window or whatever it is, and submit that paperwork to a FOIA request, it's a felony, and they've got people back
Damn.
corner all over the country. I'll send you guys a video. I'm playing it at the event tomorrow. I'm playing it to show the people. Do you see what's working here? We have the power. We just don't understand. We don't have the knowledge of the law, all those kind of things to go do it, or the courage from a lot of people's standpoint.
Yeah.
But there's a serious weapon that now these guys are utilizing against these town and city councils. The property tax raises that are illegal because they're jacking people's property tax or their values way up, way up. They're using a specific software. Mitch said a physicist wrote the software. I forget who, a mathematician discovered it, but they're using software. Here's how much money we want. How much money do we need to get out of these people? Okay, let the software value their homes so it's high enough for everybody that we get the money we need, which is a fucking crime. It's complete theft. Well, that is what they're going after, and they're burying these people everywhere. So I think this might be the trigger point when people discover how badly they're being screwed and ripped off. At some point, they got to blow the gasket. That's the only way we get our country back as a whole. When people just say, fuck this, I am done being robbed. These scumbags have never done anything except raise taxes 40 years here. We're wiping them out, and then get everybody under a watchful eye. Every move they make, scrutiny, analysis, FOIA requests, whatever. But until we hold these people in these elected positions accountable, America will never return to its greatness. Never.
Yeah.
But I believe we're going to get there.
Well, we're
Yeah.
in alignment too. The horoscopes and planetary alignment. When the Civil War happened last time, when World War I happened. So this is a time where people start to revolt and so forth. We can't I know we think these guys, we can take them pretty easy, the blue hairs and so forth. Yeah, for some of them, but just think back to, again, the Civil War. That should have been a war that never would have happened because the guys that fought on each side had just fought in the Mexican-American War, and they went down there, kicked Mexico's ass, and they came back and they're in the Civil War, and they picked sides. So we had lots of people dying in that war, and the Democrat Party still was able to survive. I think they assassinated Abraham Lincoln and got away with it. So we're still dealing with, they created the KKK. They voted against blacks being able to vote. I mean, just women being able to vote. They're still corrupt as hell, but people still get brainwashed into backing them. So this is the problem we have right now. We still have these people that are brainwashed for centuries. To discount them that's you got to be careful with that. So I think the legal the side that we're doing and I know we've all talked about it, and I believe it's having an impact on them. Is very it's the way to go. We do this until we can't do it anymore. You know, we have to go kinetic or something. I hope we never go kinetic. I don't think we are, but there is a possibility. And just like our brother Nino was saying, everything revolves around that midterm. Both sides are, pivoting on that midterm. So what happens to one side or the other? If Democrats get it, I was telling you guys, I'm probably going kinetic, right, at that point. And they're probably thinking the same thing. So we can't discount this. This is very, very serious time. So we have to look at this and try and do this legally, try and wake people up. Look, they cheated on the 2020 election. Y'all can see it now, but still we're going to have a lot of these people just they don't care. They don't care, and they're going to still stay with their side because that's the way they're programmed.
Think about the fractured MAGA too.
Yeah.
I mean, you think how many people Candace Owens and Tucker Carlson have absorbed? How many people hate Israel and now hate Trump? I mean, I don't back Israel at all. I will tell you that right now. But I know that I'm still saving that space for saving Israel for last, and it does look like Trump is making some decisions to where it's frustrating and tensions are rising with Benjamin Netanyahu. So I am watching this play out in my mind. I'm seeing how this goes. But there's a lot of people that are fed up with Israel and Trump's backing of Israel, and they've already jumped ship, man. And we got to be careful of those people too, because those are going to be the rogue warriors that maybe are not on the Democratic side, but they hate Trump too. Maybe they're not with the Democrats, but they're going to be a whole separate group that are patriots, right? That now look at Trump as the enemy. So they're going to be a problem, dude.
Well
Those
trained.
people will be.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so just think about that. Like, just think about our broken side, man. So to me, you may not be worried about the Democrats, but what about the disgruntled Republicans that are now turning their back on Trump? They're out there. They're out there. So there's those guys. And you got to think like, this is going to come to a head. We already can feel it. And now we're like coming to this boiling point where the pimples got to pop, dude. I mean, they're going to have no choice. And I think Trump knows this. And that's why he's taking his time. He's probably going to wait, in my mind, until the last second to do this national security emergency. And then executive orders so that it gives them less time. But damn well, dude, behind the scenes, they know exactly what Trump's going to do. They're just as methodical and well thought out as we are on our side, and they're waiting for its move and counter move, right? Mm-hmm. So that's what they're waiting for. My question, I wanted to bring this up to you guys too, because what do you guys think is going on with Mitch McConnell? Because it's like, do you think he's dead? I think he could be dead, or he's brain dead. No. Something's going on with Mitch McConnell, and what do you think the strategy is behind that?
They want to wait till August 2nd when the Democrat that's running Kentucky can't insert somebody. So, even though he's been voting against, Save America Act and some other stuff, he has been voting in good Republicans. He's not 100%, obviously. He's maybe 80, maybe even less. 80%, you're like, you're not any help to the Republican Party anymore. But that's what we've seen in Kentucky as well. With who was that one congressman that everybody loved that just got taken out by SEAL Team 6 guy they used to work with. so you're seeing, yeah. So you're seeing. I don't want to mention him because I don't want to give him any energy. So you're seeing he who must not be named. You're seeing this go round and round like we're talking about all the way to the end. I agree with you, and they have to maintain what little control they still have. So at first I was like, this is outrageous. And now I'm like, I see what they're doing. So I'm kind of on board with it, actually.
I had to, go ahead, Scott.
I'll tell you why I still have this sense of peace and comfort, even though we're going to hit the rapids. I have no doubt about that. It always comes back to like fundamental things with me, because it makes it easier work for me to think. I don't have to think as much. So I look at it this way. Our side knows their playbook. We know that, right? They know their playbook. They know every because it's the same game plan they have always used, right? Same playbook, completely captured playbook. They've got it all. What the other side doesn't have is our side's playbook because they've never seen it. Nobody has. That's why I believe, because they know everything that these guys have ever done. Now, doesn't mean they won't be malleable, but our side have never really shown their hand. They're completely at a disadvantage. And so I think a lot of the moves that they make also are, again, doing these things to get them to behave a certain way so everybody gets to see it. The bullshit, to get it in people's minds, keep going and going and going. Now do you see? Yeah, we see it. Over here they don't. Keep pushing. Now do you see? Oh yeah, finally I see. I just have that, and I could be totally wrong, but I don't know where a piece in my soul comes from, but that's the only way I can explain it. Again, we're watching a movie, greatest show, the greatest story will ever be told. Do you think thousands of years of this shit, you don't have to come up with a plan that can psychologically bring the world to a place where they say, yeah, let's all do this. It's going to be awesome. I just think that. I think there's casualties along the way, as every war. And I think there could be some things that may not work out like the way they think, but I think they always have the backup option B, C, D, E, and F. And it basically inevitably becomes bulletproof because I look at it this way. Trump and General Flynn said this to me once. We were in somebody's plane going to a Joey Gilbert campaign event, and he said, it's kind of like what you set up on stage, Scott. Like, go ahead and take me out. All right, he's taunting these guys. You can take me out anytime, but you're gonna deal with 22 million pissed off Patriot Street Fighters. See how that works out for you. And he goes, when you say that, he goes, he said that's the way we see this. He said it's real. He said, look, if we lose this, he said, I'm dead. My whole family's dead. We're all dead, right? Trump knows that too. And the military knows that too, that if this doesn't work out, they're dead. Because at this point, if we lost, Trump lost, whatever, they're all dead. It's a murder spree to get rid of everybody who ever gets in their way again. And because they know that, that's why I believe their confidence when they made this final move to take this thing down, that they knew no matter what, we have everything we need to do to bury these people. You're going to survive. Your family's not going to be wiped out. Your bloodline's not going to be, because they would wipe out your whole bloodline. They'd be going around the planet killing anybody who's connected to your tree. That's why I still have this confidence that this is more about the Great Awakening than it is winning this global battle. That's why I keep telling people, um, focus on the light, keep focusing on what you see is happening and changing. Because the three of us know there's so much unbelievable shit happening behind this wall of all this stuff. We can see it, but most people can't, because what are they looking at? They're looking over the same shit they've looked at their whole lives. But we just spent the last 6, 8, 10 years analyzing every single thing happening. We're like, oh yeah, look at this. You just mentioned a couple of these today. They just arrested the city clerk in Champaign, Illinois yesterday. They just arrested him. And these are the people responsible for stealing elections. That shit's happening everywhere.
Yeah.
So, anyways, doesn't mean we're not going to head for the, hit a wall and have to battle in some way, shape, or form. But I'm still having a lot of fun with this thing.
Yeah.
I think, yeah, we're definitely coming to the climax for sure. And you know what? I do like what Mike said earlier. I can't help but look at and I've had guests on talking about astrology and stuff like that. But yeah, I mean, the planetary alignments, I wonder what they're going to be in November. Like, I don't put now I know the audience is like, oh, don't buy into that stuff. I get what you're saying, but I think there's something there because those are energies, those are solar energies. And when you look at like, when I had a lady on, Grace, that's, she's kind of like a local celebrity here in El Paso. She does a lot of stuff on the radio and talks about astrology and stuff, but she talks about the planetary alignments are exactly mirroring 1776, 2026 and 1776. I wonder what it's going to be in November. Like, I wonder what the planetary alignments are, because I kind of, it's not that I worship that stuff, but I don't at all. But I believe in God is above everything. But there's something to this shit because the billionaires follow this stuff, not the millionaires. The billionaires do, and they coordinate everything they do around this stuff.
Yeah.
So there's something there, man, that we should pay attention to. So when people talk about that stuff, I don't dismiss it. I always think, that's
If you've
interesting.
ever worked in a bar, like I have as a bouncer and a bartender,
Oh yeah, yeah.
you know during the full moon it's
Oh, dude,
I'm
yeah.
glad you
100%.
said
And
that.
you ask anyone that's worked in a hospital, a doctor or a nurse, and they'll tell you the same thing. Yeah, or a police officer, they'll tell you, yeah, this full moon. So it does have an impact on human consciousness, on the body, and so forth. Yeah, so that's a great point. I got to like reach out and find out, what.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
we all
That
know
should
this.
be a great guest for you too.
I
Yeah,
can prove it. We all know this. Every guy knows this, right? If things aren't good at home with a lady or whatever, and you got to like tell her about something, you just kind of like you go to the chart. Oh shit, a full moon today. I ain't staying shit. I can't survive this.
exactly.
I
I'm gonna
I
wait
don't.
till
Yeah,
that
I
Be
mean,
quarter.
cool. Don't be a fool. Be cool.
I just think there's something to it, man. I mean, I don't see how you could dismiss it. And look at like all the cycles ending and beginning now, like the red blood moons. There's been so many of them. The 2017 Virgin constellation, the birth constellation, the everything that's been happening, man, are these cycles and that have been ending and beginning. Like we are at a period of time celestially that there are endings and beginnings, and I do believe the old guard is being brought down, and
Yes.
it's going to bring a massive upheaval and unrest.
Yep.
It's just
Totally agree.
the evolution of humanity. It's just
Yep.
if we want to get to this new paradigm shift in consciousness, this kind of you got to battle and wrestle with the old consciousness, and that's what's happening right now. And I don't think we've reached the peak of it. I think it's coming.
Yeah.
Here's a good
point.
parallel good parallel is this. Two thoughts I had, and then I'll tell you the parallel. You just see the scene, like your buddy is talking to you about something that just went on at home with the lady, right? And he's like, "What? You told her that yesterday? Did you not look at the freaking moon before you said that?" Jesus, dude, everybody knows that. But you said something that makes sense. And we've all been, we've been acquiescent to this for years. It is the energy frequency of the shift, as I said many times, when you're asking anybody, hey, what, your little kid, you got your box of crayons, right? Your Crayolas. And I always do this experiment, ask people, if you're going to draw the little picture you did when you were young. Okay. So you drew grass and a sky and a tree. Your grass, what do you use? Green, tree, brown, green, sky, blue, sun, orange, red. So when they say, yeah, orange or red or whatever, I say, okay, tomorrow go outside, look at the sun and tell me what color it is. They go look up. Shit, that's white. That's white as white can
White
be.
now,
Why?
dude.
Because we're moving through this part of the solar system, a highly charged part, or our solar system's moving through this area in the universe that's highly charged, which is affecting this planet. It is heating it up. It's heating up every planet. NASA published an article 3 years ago that all the planets are heating up. Why? Because that high energy thing. But that whatever this could be, a solar flare, a burst, or whatever, that energetically helps our transition, like you said, Nino, a shift, a spiritual shift. Here's a parallel proof. How are they programming these people, voice to skull technology, making them think stuff, go murder, kill themselves? Frequency.
Yeah.
Frequency. They're behaving differently because they're hitting with whatever frequencies to make that happen. You're talking about the natural evolutionary frequency of the sun and everything else hitting humanity, and hopefully that is the upgrade that stops chaos from happening to be as bad as it could be. Maybe they know that and they think, okay, we're going to move this along because when we get to this point, this powder keg could blow, but it's not because we're going to be in the realm of that frequency. Because you said, like Nina, you're looking at the whole movement of the all the cosmos, and like you said, they know all this information. They call it new age. They call it woo-woo bullshit. They've been studying it, living it, utilizing it for thousands of years, the ones that control the planet. So it's obviously true and has merit because they utilize that. They just make sure we never know anything about it. But now we're learning. Now we're knowing.
I remember when the sun used to be like a corn on the cob yellow.
Yeah.
Yep.
Remember
We're
that, guys?
kids.
Like it was a completely different sun. And now it's like this white, like a LED light or something. Like it's just white. It's not yellow anymore.
Yeah.
I mean, from my observation, so like something's happening, something's changing.
Yeah. A lot of energies bursting off the sun more than ever. We're getting crazy earthquakes and volcanoes, you know. I think it's going to intensify, but that's part of what we're talking about. The old going out, being destroyed, and the new coming in, the rebirth, the birth, right, of something new. And that's where everybody's been talking about this for a long time, and here we're at that point. Now it's a birthing process. It's not like, okay, the baby's out and grows up right away. No, it's going to be a process. So it's going to take time, and we've talked about it. How it's not going to be like, okay, we round this corner, deep state gets taken down. There's heavy infiltration. You know, it's going to take time to like find these, criminals and root them out.
Yeah, for every scumbag that gets taken down, three or four more pop up. They're like gremlins, dude. They multiply with like water. But like to me, it's so obvious now. Like to me, you know, I definitely can feel time and space speeding up. Like it was just yesterday. I was telling my dad, you got another 10 days in the hospital, this and that, and it's already done today. He's coming home today, and I'm like, wait a minute, dude. Like I just told him that. I thought that was just like 2 days ago. It's just like everything is speeding up because there's more options and choices within a minute now than ever before. Nobody's bored anymore. I mean, the minute you get off this Zoom call, I mean, remember there was times like I remember sitting at my grandma's house when I was a kid and I could hear the grandfather clock ding dong ding, and I'd just be so friggin' bored. And then I knew at 2 o'clock court TV comes on, I'm gonna have to watch it with her. And then I would remember like all this boring shit, right? And then my mom would pick me up and I'd be bored for fucking hours. You're never bored anymore. No, that's not even an option. No one's bored anymore. The minute we get off this Zoom call, you'll be distracted with this or something happens. It's just everything's speeding up because we have so many more choices within a minute now. You go to Starbucks, there's 100 different ways to order a coffee, man. Since when?
You
Like
just leave because you're confused. Yeah, you just like, I'm
it's
out
like
of here. I
it's
can't even
analysis
decide what I
process,
want. You
but
just
you go to
leave.
Starbucks, you have 100 different ways to order a coffee, any coffee you want. You leave Starbucks, you're looking at your phone again, so you're getting those dopamine hits. You're never you people in airports now. I remember I used to dread being in an airport over a layover. Now people just plug into the internet, they're on their computer, they're on their phone, it's over, it's quick, you leave. I mean, a 2 hour, 3 hour layover at an airport's not bad anymore. It goes by like 30, 45 minutes. Not bored, dude. This is people used to have to read books. Nobody reads books anymore. You're constantly listening to something or doing something. It's just the world has changed, man. And it's only going to speed up with AI and quantum. Like, get ready for like, you better hope that we figure out a way to extend life because if we are only living 60, 70 years, that's going to be like that for everybody. It's just it's going to be so quick. You're going to at least you at least want to try to get 120, 150 years of life in you because that's how fast time is moving now that you're not going to even feel that. My dad's 91 and I'm talking to him and he's like, where did this all go? Like, I'm already here. Like, this was yesterday. I was 20.
Oh wow.
And it's just like, it doesn't make sense to him, you know?
Mm.
And it's true. It's just everything is speeding up. And I was told this years ago by the Mayans when I was down there in Mexico that this was going to happen. And it's called universal consciousness.
Yep.
Guys, I got to get going. Is that
You know
okay?
what?
Four agreements. I love the Mayan stuff. So yeah, it's everything's speeding up. I mean, we used to be like it would take months and months and months, and sometimes years to come, for our conspiracy theories to become true. Everybody agrees with them. Now it's like a week, and it's speeding
Yeah.
up. It's going to be faster. And I used to read, like you're talking about, I used to do dozens of books every year. Now, if it's not on audio, I'm probably not going to read it.
Nobody reads
Audio, I
anymore.
got it on 2 times speed, and it's like.
Dude, I'll read a paper and I'll look at it and I'll be all of a sudden my eyes start getting tired. Like I don't know what the hell the deal is, man.
Yeah.
Too. I'm the same way. I've read voracious. I've read more books out of college than I read the whole my life up till that point in time. But and people send me books. I got 3 just new books that came in. I got 8 that came in 3 weeks ago. People send me books all the time. It's such a beautiful thing, and I really would love to be able to read the books because it means that much to them, and it's all great stuff. But I've got a stack from the floor to the ceiling right now, and I look at them like I'm kind of ashamed of myself. You don't even read anymore, but you just can't. Your brain's on overload with all everything else. I like you, Nino. I start to read now. I like my eyes start to close. I just can't. Just
Yeah.
got to get
Just like I know we all do research, for our shows, and I'm doing research. If you start too early, because that stuff's gonna be old school by the end of the day. So you have to like I'm doing stuff at just before a show, and I'm like, I gotta delay the show. Look at all this stuff coming. So it's crazy.
Yeah, I'll do a show and have it ready to go the next morning, and then I wake up at 4:30 in the morning. I wake up and I check the news again, and I'm like, oh shit, I got to redo the whole thing. The
Yep.
whole thing, guys. I have to get going. I have to go do a blood test. I have to
I
go
think good luck with that.
for my heart. Thank
Yeah.
you. So I
All
love you
right, bud.
guys, man.
Love you
I
too,
got to
man.
go do
Much
this
love.
blood test. So it's for my heart. So I got to go do this.
Be safe out there, folks. Saying prayers for Nino. Make sure he gets better fast because we need him on the battlefield.
Thank you guys.
Absolutely.
All right. Much love.